here we go. It's not Thursday, it's Monday, so it means it's time for the first Football Manager stream of the week. Good evening, I'm Adwin84, and we're here to take you through our continuation of our Rangers career, which wasn't the best of streams on Saturday, at least in terms of Rangers results. Well, we'll get into that in a second. On Saturday's night stream, we lost both the league and the Scottish Cup. So we went from potentially doing a domestic treble, we'd already won the League Cup quite some time ago, to just one trophy. We lost everything else. Unfortunately, Celtic beat us to both. Celtic beat us 2-0 in the league with just a few games to go. We did win the last three matches, league matches of the season, but it wasn't enough. Celtic just didn't drop any points. And we lost the final of the Scottish Cup to Celtic as well. So an all-round disappointing stream. The aim, I think, in my head at least, was that if we won the league this season, we would potentially look to move on. It is a World Cup year, it's 2030, so there's bound to be some managerial movements, but I'm really feeling like there's unfinished business here. I don't really want to leave Scotland without having at least won the league title once, so I think we stick around for one more season. Now, all of that could be up in the air if I get the perfect job come up. So if a Juventus come knocking on the door, Inter, Milan, someone from Italy, Dortmund, Bayern Munich, I mean PSG to a lesser extent, or say Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, Man City, etc. If they come knocking, we probably have to say yes. But as it stands, in my head at least, we're staying as Rangers manager for this season as a bare minimum. I'm not entirely sure how we fell short here. We scored 122 goals, conceding just 29, and goal difference is plus 93. We won 31 out of 38, drawing 3 and losing just 4. Celtic lost 4 games and 3 of them were to us. We lost just 1 league game. And look, even the game doesn't want to show you that we lost to Celtic, but we lost just the 1 game to them, and they've pipped us to the league title. So, in terms of strengthening over this summer transfer window, I think we're pretty good right back with Rodolphe and Payne. We've also got Samwars as one of our backups, and Jamie Shackleton can play a part there. But if we're that deep into our right back situation, then we've got a real problem. Centre back, we've got 4 very strong options in Mikael Mikkelsen, Sorensen, Piatkowski, and Dane Murray. Bostair is still got a bit of developing to do, but could potentially perform a role. Do think he needs to get a little bit better technically in terms of handling the ball before we treat him as a first team regular. Dane Murray is very much an old-fashioned centre-back. He's just big and strong and does all the things you want a centre-back to do. So I don't know how much I need to strengthen that, but again, any good options come up and I will be all over them. Left back, we know with the retirement of Andy Robertson and the likelihood that we're going to try and ship Thierry Small out. He's not been happy for a while. We've not had him in the Champions League squad this season. So it's probably time to move him on and see if we can find a young Scottish replacement instead. Midfield, I think, is where I probably need to look to strengthen. I think midfield is where I'd need to strengthen. Nicholas Raskin has been a pretty reliable player for us in the last couple of seasons, but he didn't seem to produce much towards the end of last season. He did have a spell out injured, and it could be the injury was playing its part, but I do think we probably need to look at someone in his deep lying playmaker role, plus or minus someone in the box-to-box midfielder role, because really our only options there are Shackleton and Ryan Yates, who are both tipping into their 30s, and we need to start thinking long term. On the wings, we are going to need a replacement for Kovacevic, who was an outstanding player. I would love to try to get him back, but it feels unlikely. It does feel like Football Manager 23 does not want you to loan the same player 2 seasons in a row. In FM22, you could pretty much have a player for the entirety of their contract because you just loaned them back season after season. Much more difficult, but not impossible in FM23. I just wonder if we want to hold out as long as we would have to before trying to get him back in. You can usually get them back on deadline day, but that feels like risky business, so we'll probably look to move on without Kovacevic. We still have Isaacson, Sarmiento, Tyrese Campbell can do a cover job, and James Lennox is up and coming, but he's too young and too inexperienced to play any large part. We're going to try and get him as much game time as we can, though. And then up front, we have still got Lorenzo Colombo. For how long is anybody's guess. We're going to look to hold on to him, but the list of clubs looking at him just grows ever larger each week. Juventus have been on and off that list, but now we've got likes of Man United starting to take note. I'd like to think we can hold off interest from the likes of Benfica and Porto, but I don't think we're going to hold off interest from all of them by any stretch. We'll do the end of season review, shall we? New arrivals. We've skipped forward. There we go. So Kovacevic, no surprise, is our signing of the season. Sorry, he's not. Diamande is. Well, okay. Well, Kovacevic was on loan, I suppose. He was just outstanding. 17 goals and 26 assists from the left or right wing over 48 appearances, 48 starts, 50 appearances in total. What a player he turned out to be. It's no wonder Arsenal want him for their first team. We've then got Diamande, who was a very, very well spent £11 million. Brought him in from Spurs, and 17 goals and 16 assists from the centre of midfield as well, playing that Mazzala role, which he just seems to be made for. He's got all of the physicals that you'd want. He's also technically gifted. His mentals are pretty good. His only downside is that he has the doesn't like big games trait, which hasn't, I don't think, it's not really come through in the matches that he's played, but the worry is it may well do. We've definitely made a couple of decisions at times to leave him out. Lewis Payne, 28 million, very expensive signing at right back. I'm still incredibly happy with how he has fit into the side, but we do probably have his ready-made replacement here in Joan Rodolphe. Joan, however, can also play as a defensive midfielder, and he's only natural as a centre-back, but at 5'10", that's never where I'm going to end up playing him. It just simply isn't going to happen. Faris Shaibi, who we got on a free transfer via Newcastle, did okay actually. Did play quite well. 11 goals in 24 starts. Made most of his appearances from the bench. And then we've got Dane Murray, who got more starts than I thought actually, but was a very solid centre-back option. And then Joan Rodolphe, who came in January and played a big part in our defence. And Ross Monroe, who got one subs appearance, and that was when we lost 4-1 to Aberdeen, and I was so fed up with my goalkeeper that I just had to take him off. In the Champions League, we did make it through to the knockout stages against Chelsea, and in the Scottish Cup, we lost at the final hurdle, once again, to Celtic. But we did win the League Cup, the Premier Sports Cup, and I guess that means it's not a complete failure of a season. And like I said, I bet if I look back, 96 points smashes 28-29. It smashes 27-28. Absolutely smashes 26-27. Even 25-26 there. We can go back and we would have won in every other season. Kind of get how Notts County feel after that. Let's just turn that light on, shall we? Well, that's interesting. Hertha are offering me a job interview. I don't think this quite qualifies as the massive job that we were hoping to be offered. Well, not hoping to be offered, but would at least consider. Okay, do you know what? We'll attend the interview, but we won't commit to taking a job. I'm not convinced that Hertha's the big job that I'm desperate to move to, although it is intriguing. So what are they expecting? What are they aiming for? So they don't like offering contracts to old men. Completely agree. Minimum 4-year contracts for first team players unless they're old men. Work towards qualifying for the Champions League. Okay, so Champions League is where they want us to be in a couple of seasons. Hopefully that's not fluffed my chance of getting the job. But, well, I'm not convinced I want it in the first place. Oh, well, Hertha have come back and asked for backroom changes. We're nearly at that point of decision making here. And we're going to continue with what we're doing, which is agonising over this decision that we've got to make right here. Now, immediately, right off the cuff, I'm very attracted to this £65 million transfer budget, a £1.6 million wage budget, and okay, the wages for me aren't so bad either. Although, what am I being offered at Rangers? What am I on here? So they're offering me a chance to double my money. Am I leaving them in the lurch? I don't think I am. I think I've improved their squad. But all I'm doing is distracting myself from the real decision that needs to be made here. Do we leave Rangers? I think I said I was only going to leave for a top job. And while this isn't necessarily Bayern Munich or Dortmund, Hertha, they've got quite a bit of an infrastructure, haven't they? They've been fairly mid-table of late, haven't they? They've got facilities, 75,000 all-seater stadium. I mean, having to rent it, but still, that's potential. Great, state-of-the-art training, excellent youth, exceptional youth recruitment, a senior squad that needs a bit of building up. Okay, let's see what we can get them up to. Oh, that's just unnecessary stroppiness from them. Right. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Stuff it. Let's go. We're going to Germany. So at least this has happened right at the start of a transfer window. We've got a whole season, we've got a whole summer to shape our squad. We've got a season to put this team in the best, into its best shape. And hopefully, we can start our European domination from Hertha. And I think we'll be in the Conference League as well, so I'd like to think we're in with a decent chance of actually winning a European trophy in our first season. Media are predicting us for 4th, so Champions League qualification, I believe that means in Germany. It's a step up, isn't it? Here we go, got it saved at last. My goodness. Welcome, Raiders. Zealand, thank you very, very much for the raid and the follow. Really appreciate it. How is everyone doing? Yeah, you're joining us just as we start a new club. We've left Rangers to join Hertha Berlin, and we're doing all of the boring stuff of trying to set up the new team, hire staff, and so on. Thank you very kindly for coming to join. Hope you're all having a fabulous night so far. And we have got much better options than we had at Rangers. We were dealing with a £10 million transfer budget at Rangers, and we've transported to Germany and found ourselves a much, much, much bigger budget, and I love it. I love it. I've got money to spend. However, a tiny squad, really small squad. So, I mean, that's a good thing in a way, isn't it? And wow, thank you so much, everyone, for all the follows. That's incredible. Well, you've got potential, haven't you? And striker is certainly something we need to sort out. So we do have Elye Wahi, who is, yeah, an excellent attacking option. Can play as an inside forward and probably will do. Although he is 6 foot tall, which makes him an ideal striker in my eyes. But I do like the options I do already have. Well, actually, I didn't realise Serda was as old as he is. Anyway, so back to the squad planner. I think defensively we're fine. I do need a right back because my best right back is a centre back. My best right back is also a left back. Or second best right back is a left back. Third best right back is a centre back, and that leaves this young man who's also left-footed. So we've got work to do at right back. Defensive midfield is another area that probably does need some strengthening as well. Although we have some okay options there. So my box-to-box midfielder, maybe a central midfielder, depending on who is around. Actually, let's get the roles set up the way I like them. And then, yeah, so looking on the wings, Wahi, I think, is my starting left winger. There's not much beyond him. Right wing, better options. Burkholt, absolutely, yep. Nailed on starter. Hildebrandt, you may well be my second choice right winger. And then we've got this youngster. You're right-footed. Let's get you training on the left-hand side. Come on. Let's make an offer. Let's see what we can get this man in for. Perfect. Okay, let's see how that plays out. Oh, he's done. He scored goals. Okay. Right. Let's start splashing some cash, shall we? I'll give you a bit more up front if you will reduce that. Perfect. Okay. We'll see if we can make him a bit more adaptable. Right. Okay. Well, he's going, so we might as well give him options. Although transfer budget will only stretch so far. We're up to 77 with the sale of that youngster to Bayern Munich. But I've already got 30 odd earmarked for Cho, who I think they're going to improve the squad pretty well. But yeah, we're now looking potentially at another left back, another right back, and a central midfielder, as well as still looking for that left winger. But I have got a few players who could potentially do that job. I mean, you've got this youngster here who I'm quite excited to get his season started because he's got plenty of room for growth. And maybe on the left-hand side of defence, we give Kevin Akerley. I'm going to call him Akerley. Tell me if I've got that wrong. I probably have. I may look to give him a chance, although I don't know if he's quite ready. So actually, I might still go for another left back if and when we sell these two guys. And that does mean as well, centre back is probably another area we need to strengthen. So yeah, we've got plenty to keep us going. I looked at centre back and said, oh, that's quite well subscribed. And actually, I've got these youngsters in here. So yeah, we're actually centre back might be more of a priority than I thought. So we're actually going to get the scouts to go and find me a centre back. Thank you all so much for the follows. It's been an incredible honour for me, and I'll have to pass a message along to Zealand to say thank you for sending you all my way. Hopefully some of you have liked what you've seen and will stop by again in the future. it's been it's been an absolute pleasure for me. I've really enjoyed tonight's stream, and again, thank you all so much for coming by, chatting with me, and for the huge number of follows, which pretty much doubled where I started tonight. It's incredible. It's been a wonderful night, and I hope to see you all again on Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Take care.